Hey everyone, welcome back to Learn to Live with Eli. So here we are in my corner studio. It's shaping up really nicely. I replaced that big old TV that I had behind me. Have a couple LG 34-inch monitors. Behind me I have the Elgato lights, which are really fantastic. And now what I'm going to talk about is just a couple of pieces of audio equipment that I'm adding to my collection. I featured another video with basically my desktop setup. This is only a little bit different than that, so I will still feature the Shure SM7B microphone, the dynamic microphone, with the Cloudlifter, but also I'm going to go over the Zoom H6, and so that's a different piece of equipment that will suit me more for mobile audio versus the Scarlett 4i4 that I featured in my previous video is just more for my fixed desktop audio recording. So I hope you find this informative. Stay tuned. I'll feature some of this information, and also there's a kind of lesson learned with the Zoom H6. So yeah, hopefully this helps you all, but stay tuned. Hey everyone, welcome back. So here we are going to feature a little bit of a close-up on those pieces of equipment that I talked about. So first and foremost is the Cloudlifter CL1. It is a mic activator. I featured this in my other video, but essentially what this does is it boosts the input from the microphone up 25 decibels. So if you want to hear some audio comparison, I'll put a link into my other video, but we'll also feature some of the differences with this in this video as well. Second piece of equipment is going to be right behind me here is the Shure SM7B dynamic microphone, which is this thing here. Just a little disclaimer, I am not an audio expert. So as I talked about for this YouTuber series is I'm utilizing information that I'm getting from YouTube and reviews to actually build this channel to help other folks that maybe are newbies like me. And so I'm one of those people that don't like to continuously have to upgrade equipment. So a lot of this equipment is not cheap, it's not overly expensive, but when it comes to long lasting, I think I'm actually in really good shape here. And so, as I mentioned, I'm not an expert, so to really get down to the technical details of this stuff, I recommend searching YouTube or Google for some of the technical details. I'm just going over kind of the usefulness from a brand new user perspective, but this stuff is pretty straightforward, and that's kind of what I'm sharing with you. So that's my little bit of a disclaimer. So the last piece that I want to talk about is the piece de resistance, is the Zoom H6. So this thing right here, really, really cool. So I'm gonna go through a difference in audio comparison using that Zoom H6. So as I talked about, actually you can kind of see over my right shoulder there is I have the Scarlett 4H4 Focusrite, and so I have a link to a separate video, but that I'm using for my desktop to be able to record audio. The Zoom H6 is something that is actually mobile. And so I'll kind of talk you through how I use this. As I mentioned, I'm a brand new person just learning this stuff off of YouTube, but it's actually not really technically difficult. So that's the desire for me, is to share with you all. So in the next clip, I'll go over actually focusing on some of the features for the Zoom H6. I won't get into details because I don't even know all of the options, but there was actually an issue that I had with this that took me like 2 hours to solve, and I couldn't find the solution on the internet. So I hope that the information that I share helps you all. But otherwise, the last piece that I'll add is, in order to connect these pieces of equipment, so the microphone to the Cloudlifter, you need a couple XLR cables. I found them on Amazon, really basic. I'll put in my description below, but for this setup, you need 2 cables, and that was it. So here we go, let's dive into the Zoom. Hey, one other thing I forgot to add. As a feature to the Zoom, the neat thing is, again, portable, but it has an audio jack so that you can actually hear the input while it's recording to make sure that's going clear. So you do need a set of headphones. For me, I didn't buy anything in particular. I actually had a set of Turtle Beach Elite headphones that I was using for gaming, and they work out great. So one other piece of equipment there that you'll need is just a set of headphones to be able to connect to that Zoom. That way you can listen to the audio while you're recording. So just want to throw that in there, but now let's dive in. Okay, so here we are at the setup here to be able to walk you through all of this. So what I have going on, I have the lavalier, so I'm able to record this audio because I want to do a comparison. I have the microphone set up with the XLR cable to the Cloudlifter to the Zoom H6. So now what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to start hitting record because I actually forgot to do that earlier, so I'm recording again. So I make sure I hit record. Now this thing is recording, so I want to be able to capture audio from this and audio here so you all can compare as I maybe go back and forth. So I can see the dB is reading on the input number 3. The XLR cable from the Cloudlifter is in number 3. This dial here lets me adjust the gain so you can be greater, less, depending on your environment. Right now we're sitting really, really well. There's also an option in the middle here from an additional -20. I think that's a little bit of a booster. Don't necessarily need it. I'm actually really good right now. So now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to come over to the mic, and now I'm actually feeding into the Zoom H6. And so let me know what you think, but I'm able to hear myself through the headphones, and I have to tell you what, like, I think it's a huge difference. I mean, really, really great sound. And with these just relatively portable 3 pieces of equipment, like I said, I'm not an expert, but watching the videos, like, it's just these 3 pieces of equipment, a couple XLR cables. The Zoom H6 takes batteries, and so you know you can have batteries, rechargeable batteries. Right now I have it on my desktop, and so I'm powering it through this mini USB, and so I don't need the batteries yet. But again, now I have a portable setup. Over on my shoulder here, you'll notice I have the Focusrite Scarlett 4i4. I have a separate video for that, but that's perfect for the desktop. It can stay here, but this is on the move. The Zoom H6 has 4 inputs, so I can have additional XLR cables to a mic, maybe a separate boom. But again, this setup is gonna last me a long time. Like, I'm not one that likes to continually have to upgrade my equipment. I'd rather invest a little bit more right now and have something that's gonna last me for basically years to come. And I think this is it. So you let me know, you be the judge, but I think this audio is fantastic. So hopefully I'll learn something. Put comments below. Let me know what you're using. Let me know if this helped at all. As a new YouTuber, I feel like I'm just trying to share kind of my experiences. And so, as always, I appreciate the support. Remember, change the world one experience at a time. Start with me. Subscribe below.